Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
Temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.
Hi everyone, and welcome to LeapEd's first live event. Thank you for joining our session today on celebrating LeapEd services. I'm Jayanti from LeapEd Malaysia. My friends and I are super excited to be here to share with you about LeapEd. LeapEd is an education service provider and a social enterprise, and we have been around for more than 10 years. With me, I have two of my colleagues, Tulasi and Jasmine, who will take you on a journey to find out more about LeapEd, who we are, where we come from, and our vision. In short, our story, and our venture into a global learning network with international partnerships and global schools. And just a reminder that we have a Q&A session at the end of our presentation, so please feel free to post your questions in the Q&A panel. And now, I'd like to call Tulasi to share LeapEd's journey. Over to you, Tulasi.
Hi, thank you so much, Jay. Yes, as you heard from Jay, my colleague, yes, we're here today to share about who we are and what is it we do and why we're doing what we're doing, right? So a very good evening, everyone. It's 5 p.m. here in Malaysia if you're tuning in from other parts of the world. And so let's kick this off. So the journey of LeapEd started in 2010 with our very passionate now chairperson, Shahnaz. You will see her in one of the videos later. From 2010 till now, our mission has always remained ensuring every child has access to quality education because every child deserves a great future. And this is pull together the best of the best in this field, from retired teachers, Guru Cermelang. Guru Cermelang is basically an award here we give to our excellent teachers, right? It's called Toko Guru Cermelang. Ex-principals, young teachers, fresh grads, and basically anyone who is as passionate and driven as us to bring our kids to greater heights. LeapEd's education transformation programs and projects are customized and contextualized to support the enhancement of the system, school leaders, teachers, students, parents, and the wider community. At the heart of everything we do are the students, and therefore we ensure that in everything we do, we stay true to the Malaysian Education Blueprint and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Next. Established as a social enterprise by Khazanah National in 2010, LeapEd has been striving for nothing but the best in this last 11 years, working hand in hand with the Ministry of Education, ensuring our outreach to the children and the community. Our programs, although contextualized, is based on international best practices and is research-based and data-driven. While ensuring world-class quality programs are developed for our stakeholders, we do focus quite a bit of our efforts in making sure everything we do is sustainable and scalable. As the old saying goes, give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. But my colleagues and I here in LeapEd, we believe in teaching him how to fish by helping him find the best fishing spots. And this is followed by recipes on cooking the fish instead of just giving him that fish curry. And with that, he shall be fed for a lifetime. When we enter schools or the system with our interventions, it is always with the end in mind. For us, success is ultimately the impact and the outreach of the programs we run. It is not about how many individuals have benefited from this, but it is more about how many lives and minds we have intrigued and opened up to other things happening within the education realm. We know that change comes from within, be it within an individual or within a system. But we also know that to improve is to change, and to be even better is to change often. Next. Currently, we've reached 164 schools all over Malaysia, right? So what you're looking at right now is the map of Malaysia and all the states in it. And we've impacted the lives of 6,700 teachers and a total of 166,000 students still counting, right? We haven't stopped impacting, still counting. Some might think that these are just numbers, right? But to us, honestly, these are success stories. These numbers show us hope, and most importantly, these numbers tell us that we are slowly but surely leveling the playing ground, giving every child that opportunity they deserve. Our numbers and stats have also proven that our interventions are indeed impactful, okay, over the last 10 years, and it still continues to remain relevant and impactful in the upcoming years. So I've mentioned quite a bit about our interventions throughout this presentation. I guess the question you have in mind right now is, what are these interventions that she's actually talking about? Next, please. So what you're witnessing right now, right? So this is basically it. In everything we do, we ensure the students are at the heart of it, okay? And if you look at that cycle diagram, you will see the different layers on where our interventions lie. All right, so real and meaningful impact is translated through student outcomes. The better our students do holistically, basically means our interventions are impactful. But this takes an entire ecosystem to make it work. While we want to achieve the best student outcomes, teachers, leaders, parents, the community, and the system all play making this happen. This is an interdependent ecosystem, as holistic student outcomes can only be achieved if every level works hand in hand with the same mission and vision in mind. It truly takes a village to raise a child, right? This being said, our interventions come in at all levels. We have programs that are targeted for the school and system level. Likewise, there are programs that are specific to teachers, to school leaders, on top of our student programs. What you see at the bottom of this slide right now is some of the programs or intervention that has and is still serving us and this ecosystem now. The schools and system programs focuses on managing policies and procedures in order to support the teachers and school leaders, whereas the teacher and leader programs focuses on pedagogy and how best to support the students and involve the community in a child's learning. This is to ensure that no one is working in silo and that everything they do feeds into each level, downwards and upwards. The student programs have been constructed to provide global opportunities to the kids. Take EcoVera, for example. This program allows students to ideate and implement interventions to help the community with environmental challenges faced. And just like the rest of our programs, EcoVera is an example of how students are now playing a vital role in ensuring the sustainable development goals are met. Global learning is another initiative which my colleague Jasmine will be talking about shortly. On top of all these solutions, we have the LeapEd Academy that provides solutions to corporations and individuals on coaching, continuous professional development, and our very own monitoring and evaluation services. Because ultimately, everything that we do needs to be measured, right? In order to ensure we're driving the impact we set out to achieve. Next. So where or who are we providing the solutions to? What you're looking at right now is just it. I wasn't kidding when I said our outreach is far and wide. These are just some of the schools we have worked with, and they range from government, primary and secondary schools, vernacular schools, Islamic and religious schools, residential schools, indigenous schools, and even private and international schools. Yes, we work with all. Next. So I think I can go on and on talking for hours. What is it we do and who we are and how passionate we are about driving all these transformation initiatives and, and how the kids are always at the center of what we do. But who best to encapsulate everything so far than our very own students and teachers? You're about to watch a short video on what our dearest teachers and students have to say about our flagship program, which is the Trust School program, and LeapEd as a whole. Do enjoy.
one-size-fits-all, teacher centricity, rote learning. These are the norms of current education system. They are not good enough to prepare our future generation to be ready for the challenges of the future world. Trust Schools program put the student in the center of her learning. It empowers schools effectively so as to develop each student, their academic, their social, and their leadership potential. After a decade of fine-tuning this implementation model, we are happy to note that the Malaysia education system has benefited from this across all the states. Not only it has transformed the lives of thousands of students, but also the future of the communities and the future of the country.
Banyak perubahan yang sangat ketara dilihat kita, iaitu dari segi pembangunannya, dari segi PDP cikgu dan cikgu-cikgu kita, dari segi murid kita yang confident.
Program ini tidak mengetepikan pengetahuan sedia ada kita, tetapi lebih berfokus untuk mengembangkan atau mengubah sesuatu yang telah kita ketahui kepada yang lebih baik.
Program Sekolah Amanah merupakan program yang berkesan dalam pembangunan insan.
It has created more rooms for the students to express themselves, to communicate.
While learning, it's easier for us because there's a lot of reference in the class.
Dekat sekolah dia akan tampal macam-macam benda, berbeza dengan sekolah-sekolah harian biasa, di mana kalau dekat sekolah-sekolah biasa kita tengok hasil kerja kita, kalau yang lawa je kita boleh tengok dekat dinding, tertampal dekat pintu. Tapi kalau dekat sekolah amanah, kita akan tengok dekat setiap SBC, setiap subject based classroom akan ada hasil kerja kita.
Pembelajaran dalam kelas pun macam tak ada betul, tak ada yang salah. Yang ada tepat ataupun kurang tepat kan.
Trust School is a program which involves certain schools in Malaysia to teachers and students on a different way of teaching and learning.
So Trust Schools are schools that are exposed to new and different types of learning and teaching techniques, and these techniques are suitable to the 21st century way of learning.
From an average student, today I am a high performer in my school because of the significant changes in teaching and learning.
Pas wujud sekolah amanah ni akak nampak Hakim lebih yakin dengan diri, lebih yakin. Lepas dia macam lebih semangat, lebih motivasi. Banyak perubahan yang saya lihat pada diri Hakim. Beliau lebih aktif, lebih yakin untuk bercakap, terutamanya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Program Sekolah Amanah telah berjaya meningkatkan kualiti pelajar dan juga kualiti guru dalam proses PDPC.
Well, when I first started teaching in the Trust School, peer assessment, instead of me giving the answers, it was much easier for them to actually look into their friends and to see whether did they do the right answer as well. So it's fun, you see.
A lot of new things you get to learn, and it's more towards the future rather than learning from things in the past. You get to learn things in the future which you don't know what's going to happen, and you're trying to discover the new things that's going to happen in the future.
Sekolah yang bagus ialah sekolah yang melibatkan pelajar dia untuk turut sama dalam pembangunan sekolah tu, memberikan keutamaan kepada perlibatan pelajar-pelajar.
I think Trust School has changed my classrooms to become more informative, beautiful, cheerful, and a conducive place to learn. And I think it has changed my school to have a better administration, and we learn new and better, more effective ways to learn.
Thank you. Yes, and this video always puts a smile on my face. That's why you see me going throughout. What best than to hear from the kids themselves, right? So without further ado, I want to give way to my colleague Jasmine to actually take us through what's next, right? For LeapEd and the Trust Schools as well. So Jay, over to you.
Hey, thanks, Tulasi. And remember, if you have any questions for Tulasi, please use the Q&A panel. Right now, in LeapEd, we are passionate about the work we do and the schools and communities we impact. It has been a challenging journey, but our perseverance has borne fruit, as you have seen and heard from Tulasi. So what's next? Well, from classrooms to schools and communities, LeapEd's next venture is going global. LeapEd's work has reached far and wide, and our presence on the global platform has grown exponentially over the past few months. Sharing more about this and our work on the global platform is Jasmine Franz. Over to you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jayanti, and hello to everyone watching this session. I'm here to share why we deemed embracing global learning as one of the areas to celebrate as an organization. Global learning is on the rise in conjunction with technology and virtual communication to ensure learning never stops. The roles of students, teachers and parents have seen significant change as everyone scrambled to find working parents and strategies and resources that will ultimately still enable teachers to complete the curriculum and secure a quality education for all. Next. In March 2020, we were all brought to a halt when schools closed and learning and working from home became a requirement globally. LeapEd developed initiatives to complement existing programs and services. We dived into integrating global learning and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals into the curriculum with much enthusiasm and anticipation. Why? This presented opportunities for impactful collaboration and to contribute to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals on an international level. Next, please. Where did we start? Where did we even start? As a social enterprise in Malaysia, we started at home. We started with 1 country, 10 schools, and 6 coordinators. We ventured into the world of global learning with Colette Cotton and British Council's John Rolfe, eTwinnings alongside 22 other countries to tackle climate change. Colette rose to the occasion with grace and knowledge. And today we want to salute her on this platform for her tireless commitment to global learning. Next. Those first few steps we took with a focus on the human element resulted in inspired individuals, and it sparked a growing interest into the dynamics of global learning in a world locked in the grip of uncertainty in education. Next, very quickly we realized that engaging stakeholders required careful consideration and a global approach. However, we managed to involve parents in global projects and webinars, to once a month engage 200+ students to attend, deliver and host student-led virtual student hubs involving more than 18 countries. We evolved school-based PLCs into global PLCs with educators from different schools across continents. The main thing we're very proud about is that we could extend global learning to homeschoolers, refugees, schools, and global organizations. Next. LeapEd includes teachers in the decision-making about webinar topics through surveys and analyzing regular feedback of all global learning activities. Furthermore, global leaders, government officials, senior school leaders, and teachers came on board to facilitate and share best practices across schools, states, and countries. It is imperative to listen to teachers, to contextualize and make content relevant to meet the needs of the global learning community. In this case, we need to be fearless If you need to ask Vickers Potter to attend a webinar or facilitate a webinar, do so. If you need to ask a president to attend the launch of World Education Week, do so. You need to be fearless to be able to do this. Involving government officials, next please. Involving government officials, school leaders, teachers and parents as facilitators in our webinars open doors to qualitative professional relationships that enhance individual well-being and teamwork. It enables us to determine their real needs and establish a strong collaborative culture. The planning of the content of all activities, events, and projects automatically becomes contextualized and relevant, which ultimately results in increased participation. Next. The breakthrough came when we created opportunities for students to take the wheel. We introduced the Student Ambassador Training Program, virtual student hubs, and provided opportunities for them to be creative, to deliver, to design, and lead projects and webinars. Students came to the table with excitement, and we take pride in the student family we have established in a secure online learning environment. We have been able to witness 11-year-olds being CEOs and building schools for the less privileged in Kenya. We have been able to witness students, especially one UK student in particular, creating a book bank in a local supermarket to provide children with books to read. We've also witnessed students from 4 countries hosting student hubs to audiences of 150 plus participants from over 10 countries. They run the entire event with zeal, excitement, and skill. Yes, they do make mistakes, but they are connecting and empathizing and empowering each other. LeapEd student ambassadors are being invited to present at global events at the moment. And this is all that matters, that student ownership is taken and they taking the lead. Next, please. Here is a glimpse of the skills LeapEd trains students to become proficient in over the course of 6 training sessions. These training sessions are providing students with a platform to connect beyond the training content. Students are identifying their own strengths and weaknesses, developing virtual social behavior, and authentic ways of collaborating with each other. Through initiating SDG projects and giving input into what and how they want to learn. Next, please. Next, please. A LeapEd Global Coordinator. The same goes for a LeapEd Global Coordinator. They should also be able to know the SDGs, communicate effectively online and offline. They are able to participate in regular meetings. Our global coordinators are very resourceful. So we connect our global coordinators with other schools. Our team connects teachers, classrooms, and schools through a rigorous process that involves linking the schools across suitable time zones, identifying teachers with common subjects, linking more able coordinators with inexperienced coordinators. And here we tap into coaching and mentoring across schools and continents. We also attend introductory meetings with teachers and we follow up on their actual needs to successfully deliver global education. Next. Now, why do we do this? Why do we train students and teachers to become global ambassadors and coordinators? We commit to these free training sessions for students and teachers to gradually produce schools immersed in global learning and to integrating the SDGs into the curriculum. Schools are awarded a Distinguished Global Learning School Award if they meet all these criteria. Next. So where are we now? Today, we have the positive problem or challenge of engaging 86 schools, 90 plus global coordinators, and 100 student ambassadors from 20 countries. The eyes of the world is on us now. However, it also presents an opportunity to be part of the different students need to become global citizens of excellence, to ultimately achieve the dream of achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We celebrate our global network we have been able to establish, and we are committed to empower, to expand, to invest in building meaningful relationships. We are also investing in learning, teaching, and we really appreciate this global opportunity to reach students around the world. Through embracing global learning, LeapEd has moved significantly closer to living out their core values of inspiring, innovating, working with integrity, and being inclusive despite the challenges we face. It has reminded us that we are only a tiny speck in the global realm of education, but we can make a big impact through collaboration and to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of global peace and prosperity for all. Global learning is here to stay. Students enjoy it, teachers embrace it, and they develop themselves and others. And at LeapEd, we are committed to expand and really impact students around this world. I will hand you over to Jayanti at this point to summarize our celebration.
Right, thanks, Jasmine. So, yes, but before we summarize, there is a short video that we'd like you to see and hear from some of the members of our Global Learning Network. So, enjoy the video.
Hi there, my name is Nina from LeapEd Services in Malaysia. It is an absolute pleasure and privilege to welcome all of you to World Education Week. As a social enterprise dedicated to empowering learners through the ideals of SDG 4, we value the power of networks. In the words of the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So we are so proud to be part of the T4 Alliance. We have been so impressed by the range and quality of global learning initiatives, and we've been particularly surprised by the speed of the growth of that network, which now encompasses 16 countries, 84 schools, 78 global coordinators, and more than 100 student ambassadors. This, harnessed to our existing network of more than 6,000 teachers and 180,000 students throughout the Malaysian education system, is a force to be reckoned with. So let's keep this momentum going. Let's continue to reach out and share and learn across borders. Now more than ever, as we battle global challenges, we need global solutions to build a better world through education, because every child deserves a great future.
As a teacher, the most important take for me is collaboration after 5 years of training with LeapEd consultants. Today's education norm has changed within a blink of an eye. I am here today because I believe that learning globally is one of the best platforms for teaching children to be aware of how their actions ultimately will impact one another. Choices they make must be informed and responsible. That is real collaboration. The internet has made it possible for my students and I to virtually visit any country in the world now by collaborating. Therefore, as a global coordinator, I foresee great opportunities that I can use to develop my students' potential. For example, the Student Hub has opened many such interesting doors for relationships to blossom between my students and students from all over the world in just 1 hour. Here, I have taken the liberty to go one step further to keep connected with the other global coordinators so that my students will continue to benefit from other joint programs. So global learning is here to stay.
I've only been a part of Student Hub for a short time, but I have learned a lot of things already. I am thankful for the opportunity to be exposed to different cultures, topics, and issues that are very enlightening and extremely relevant to our world today. What I like about Student Hub is that it gives me a chance to meet new people from different backgrounds and share ideas with them. Moreover, Student Hub has also helped me come out of my shell, even if just a bit. You see, I'm a very shy person. However, while participating in various Student Hub activities, I am able to explore new things. I realize that I can still contribute to my team in a different way, like making posters or doing some research for a speech. I am glad to be able to cooperate with my teammates and form some sort of camaraderie with them, while working towards a common goal. In a way, this gives meaning and purpose to the things I do, even at a young age.
Thank you. And before we end, I'd just like to say that, yes, there's so much that we have shared and still so much more to share and learn. And if I were to sum the 5 key takeaways and learnings, well, here they are. 1, relevant practices. Someone just once told me our practices are not just best practices, but they are relevant practices. We ensure schools build a culture of continuous support and capacity building to be the best versions of themselves. 2, contextualization. Tulsi brought this up. Our work, yes, it's bespoke to suit the needs of the targeted audience, driven by research and trialed and tested design that we have, that LeapEd focuses on, as well as the sustainability and scalability of our programs. 3, well, establishing meaningful partnerships. Relationship building is a journey. LeapEd is committed to partnering with national and international organizations to further our mission. T for Education, Brookings, Global Lighthouse Studios, British Council, schools, parents, communities, and students globally open doors to help us remain relevant and build bridges of collaboration. Our next key takeaway is empowerment. We believe schools must be empowered to grow and challenge themselves to do their best. One way is connecting our schools to global schools and taking part in international events such as this. And the most important and the last is, of course, our clients. We keep our students and teachers close to our hearts. And while we know students are the future, his teachers are the driving force behind them. In their work and the work we do, we recognize the work and determination of each teacher. So 5 things that we'd like you to remember about LeapEd and the work we do. So we have some time now for some questions, and I believe we have some questions coming in. Yeah, right. So we have a question that says, your global learning program is amazing. Thank you very much. Your global learning team has done so much to ensure that students and teachers are connected around the world. So what does the future of the global learning program look like? Jasmine, Tulasi?
Okay, let me answer that question. The future of the global learning program, if I must give you an answer, is that we will continue to invest in people. We have expanded, and like I said, we are establishing more global partners. So what the future looks like is to have the collaboration, to have more impactful collaboration, to connect schools, and to let schools around the world share their expertise and best practices on our platform and with each other. We also want to work towards empowering schools to take part in events like the Best School Prize by T4 next year, where schools can actually win prize money of $250,000 amongst 5 best prize schools. So we want to work towards empowering them in such a way that a challenge like that is an easy challenge to take on. And that is what the future of global education looks like. And what we also want to do is to actually, with the focus on the human element, is to reach children that have limited or no access to schooling, to be inclusive, to give every student on our platform a voice, and to empower our student ambassadors to become the leaders we need tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Yes, so our future programs are going to be more impactful. We're looking at connecting schools and bringing that is relevant. So we need to make sure our practices are relevant and what is needed currently. So we have another question coming in. That is by, okay, we have, what steps do you take to connect with the institutions around the world? I know we have partnerships with organizations and schools, right? So did you ever face any setbacks in your process and programs? If they were, Jasmine, can you tell us?
No.
It was, yeah.
Actually, that's a very good question. Thank you for posing that question. What steps did we take to connect people around the world? Firstly, like I said, when we started out, I said we started at home. And that's when we looked at what are the hiccups, what mistakes are we making? So when we moved forward, we made sure we didn't make that mistake when we reached out to the rest of the world. We also connected with people with experience of global learning. I did mention Colette Cotton and John Rolfe and eTwinnings. And then once you are connected, it is entirely up to you who you want to connect with furthermore. We provide the connections, you provide the effort and the commitment. You come to the table with that. And any setbacks, there's no real setbacks. The pandemic has forced us into a new realm and landscape where we need to be tolerant of each other, learn from each other, and teach each other. There are no setbacks. The only setback there may be is that there's less sleep and a little bit more work, but there's no setbacks. And you join a global classroom, a global education. A speaker from Saudi Arabia, Afrin, once mentioned in one of the webinars where she was sharing her best practice. She said, wouldn't it be great if one day we all tune into a lesson and the whole world watches? So what if we had that? And that really spoke to me. And this other, you're talking about connections and institutions and organizations. Look at the work of Gavin McCormack. He's providing free teaching, free lessons to so many teachers and students around the world for free. So it's possible. Let's do this together. We can't do it alone.
Thank you, Jasmine. And that question came from Neha Kiran Vempati. And just a quick shout out to Daniel, who says, nice setup, team. Thank you, Daniel. And also to Omar, who says, great start. Thank you so much for your encouragement. And yeah, if you have no more questions, we'd like to say thank you so much for your time. And please do keep in touch and connect with us at LeapEd Malaysia. Goodbye, everyone, and have a great day.
Bye-bye. Have a great day. Enjoy your sessions. If you're watching, we'll come and watch you too. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
Temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.